one get it, they got it.
Yes.
I think I'm getting it now. Now, I want to just talk about some simple things, how to take 100 customers and become a millionaire. Now, if I go wrong, you can correct me, but I get all too far off base. But how to take 100 customers? I hear people, especially cosmetologists, oh, I can't get nobody to work with me. I can't make no money. It's easy. It's simple. You get 2 customers, 3 customers a week. You're gonna lose one of them, so you got 2. And times 50 is how much? 100, right? So you got 100 customers. If you're in the business for 2 years and you don't have 100 customers, when I talk about a customer, I'm talking about somebody that comes to you on a regular basis. What is the A customer? What is the B customer? What is the C customer? I'm not talking about somebody that comes every now and then. And one other thing I want to share with you about that, I've been telling all over the country, all over the United States, first place, cosmetology prices is too high. You run your customers away. They cannot pay those prices. If McDonald's can sell $1 menu, you need to examine that. Huh? But I tell people how to price their business. If you're sitting down, drop your prices. It's better for you to work for nothing than to sit for nothing. If you got too many customers you can't handle, increase your prices. That's how you really operate. That's how you build a business. That's what I did. I built $1 million salons without problem. I mean, $1 million of revenue coming in. I didn't lose no customer. I walk in the salons today, ain't nobody in there but the owner sometimes. It's crazy. I can help you if you want me to help you to build your business. If you're going, there's no use. The only people make money in the beauty salon today sometimes is the salon owner, not the salon owner, but the real estate person. Mm-hmm. They get that thing. I don't have time to talk about all the things that I would love to share with you. But this is a great business. I don't want nobody to talk about whether business is bad. Business is not bad, you are bad. Business slow. No, you slow. Business not slow. You got to deal with your prices. You got to deal with your customers. And you go out. How do you get these customers? Look, first thing you got to do, you go house to house. I built my business from door to door. Once I accidentally found this formula system, Mr. S.B. Fuller, I took it, and everything I did, I went house to house. Talk to the people. I need your business. I need your business to stay in business. What can I do? I can help you with your hair. I got a program. You cannot do anything unless you have a program. Now, what was my program? 1, everybody that worked for me, I didn't say it at that time, but my team members, that's what I call them. Nobody want to work for anybody. Your team member. Your team. Everybody on my team had to save some money. Everybody had to buy a home. And everybody had to read self-help books. And everybody had to have insurance. I see people there, I have a meeting with my people once a month. Stop, if you're going to have a meeting once a month, don't even have it. You ain't done nothing but wasting somebody's time. You have a weekly meeting at least. I have a daily meeting. We did not discuss anything that was not good. We got to learn how to look for the good. Then you want to chastise somebody, you bring them in the room in your office and chastise them. Everybody wants the same thing. That's a little more. You can have a little more, but they got to have a little more. I'm not a cosmetologist licensed. I've never done any hair in my life. Nobody in my family, really. But I had 35 salons. I had almost 40 beauty schools across America and in Africa and Canada. This is a great business, but you got to know how to run it. Now, some of y'all know how to cook cake, don't you? I don't know how, but you can teach me. And I probably may be able to beat you. I can teach you how to do business, but I can't teach you how to do hair. I wanted to show you how to build your business. This is a great business. This is the only business we have that we can make a difference in the world. But you can't do it by overpricing your hair or pricing your service. Sit down and understand your business. I have trained over 30,000 hairdressers, and I've trained 15,000 got licensed. I've done 3,000 in Brazil, in Africa. You can build a business. But if you start saying, I can't do this all the time, it's bad. Yes, first the word and then the thing. Stop selling yourself short. If a person is labeled mentally retarded, able to do the things we do, what about you? What about you? When my mama told me, Joe, it's all right to be slow. There's a big story behind every time. I'm not going to permit me to tell you the whole story. If you want more about it, you can come down to my class, and I help you. But this is a great opportunity for you. Now, something else you told me to say, I want to make sure I do it right so I can come back again.
We're not discussing human engineering, we discussed.
Yeah, and then, see, I wanted to understand this human engineering. Now, I got two brothers here in Washington who probably own, I think, it's a lot, let me put it that way. He has over 1,000 apartments, and the brother was here, got a real estate business and got other business. All of them was electrical engineering. When I talked to them and talked with them, I said, I want you to turn that into human engineering. Human. The study of humans, people. There were 16 types of person that God made, it probably more, but that's one we work with. You got to treat people as they are, not as you would like for them to be.
Excellent.
We sit in the salons and we think that, again, that people supposed to like the same thing. Now, I don't like worms. I go fishing, I fish with worms. But now if you put a watermelon on the hook, you catch me. You think of that watermelon at me, you got me. But I can't catch a fish. But I want to tell you something. It's a great business. It's good to be with you. It's exciting. Learn this business. Learn it. Don't sit back. Learn it. And learn it from people that know what they're doing. That's what I did from Mr. S.B. Fuller. This man here, you got that book, Mr. Fuller. The man that taught me. Yeah, this book right, this gentleman I have right here. This man, just hold it up for me. This man taught me. He only went to school for 18 months of schooling. 5,000 black folk worked for him. Maybe not 5, there was 5,000. He had another 600 other people working for him. He taught me. Every one of you should have this for your kids. And for yourself, really. You may not want to read the study, but then I have my book, Walking by Faith. I got many people that read my book and said became millionaires. I can help you. I can give you the formula. You got the stuff in you. All you need is help. I've taken hair cosmetologists. Usually in a class like this, I have her call and talk into you. She was on welfare when I met her. I told her what to do. I told her to pay herself first. But she got to bring enough money in to pay herself, though. You can't pay yourself for nothing.
Amen.
Today, she's a millionaire. She's 45 years old. She doesn't work that much today, physical work. She's a millionaire. She got 8 big apartments in Cleveland, Ohio. This is a great business. I don't want to hear nobody, you really get under my skin saying business bad, business slow. No, you bad and you are slow. Yeah, I really don't want you to be saying about business bad.
Yes, sir.
Business good. When I look at my daughter, and I wound up, I look at one of my daughters, my youngest daughter. She just finished building a $3 million complex. She got 85 people working with her. She pays them a salary, and she paid them salary. A top employee made over $100,000 last year. So people come here, well, how can I pay somebody a salary? How can I do this? I can show you how. The other people doing it. Huh? What's wrong with us? So I was thinking. I was thinking. I want to help you change your thinking. Your thinking is thinking. I'm going to stop right there.
Miss Cynthia want me to just speak. I'm Denise Harrington. I'm Mr. Dudley's PR agent. And I met him in March. Pretty much kind of sort of like an event like this. And at that time I was in a certain space. And I said that, and I grabbed his book, I purchased his book, Lord knows at that, can you hear me? Hello? And during that time, I was in a certain space. So I purchased his book, and he's, I read it. And then you know how sometimes you be in a certain space and you don't really know what to do. So I kept reading his book and reading it over and over, and I read his poem, Don't Quit. I had my 2 kids around that time. They're 5 and 6 now. Like I said, I met him in March. June, I made a decision that I wasn't going to stay in that certain space anymore. That I need to move and shift. So that's when I lived in Raleigh, and I moved and shifted to Greensboro. I left everything behind with me and my 2 kids. And somebody told me to call Mr. Dudley. At the time, I waited and I waited. But to fast forward, I did. And to fast forward my story, I know everybody is here, you're here for a reason. You're here looking for something. You're here, you're seeking something. You're not just here, but you want something. And you're going after something. So I'm going to say a little poem about don't quit. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're treading seems all uphill, see, when your funds are low, when your debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh, when the care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is queer with its twists and turns, and every one of us sometimes learns, and many a fellow turns about. When he may have won, have you stuck it out? Don't give up, though the pace seems slow. You may succeed with another blow. Oftentimes the goal is nearer than it seems to a faint and flirty man. Often the struggle has given up when he may have captured that victor's cup. And he learned too late when the night slips down, how close he was to the golden crown. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of the cloud of doubt. And you never can tell how close you are. It may be near, but seems so far. So stick to the fight with your hardest hit. It's when things go wrong that you must not quit. So continue seeking, finding. I'm sure you're going to get to your purpose in life. Thank you so much.
Let me just say, Denise, that's, whenever she's in the room, and I'm having anything, I'm gonna have Denise do this recitative poem. Wasn't that powerful?
Yeah.
Your hands, stand up, Denise. As I said, Dr. Dudley and Denise were at our graduation yesterday, and she was saying this, but every time she does that, that's my favorite performance, by the way. So thank you so much. Okay, we'd like to ask all the speakers to come to the panel. We're gonna have an open discussion. You can ask questions. And how long do we have, Angel?
We can close it out with this. We don't have to do the networking hour. Yeah, I think network.
Well,
They can continue to network after this is over,
Okay,
but I want to give people an opportunity.
if we have 10 minutes, maybe, if we have 10 minutes remaining, I'd like you to kind of see the vendors, have a conversation with them. Wonderful vendors, and I want to thank everyone for coming out. Thank our speakers, they all were wonderful. You agree? You agree? We're on board to do this again in about 6 months to a year, so, because we've had such a great time, right? Anything?
6 months?
Yeah, right. Whatever. I'm an optimist, what can I say? Whatever she wants to do. Okay, so we're gonna open up to the speakers. We thank you guys so much for imparting your knowledge and your experience with the group. Okay, so I'm gonna open it up. We're gonna pass it.
Get them on the mic. Does anyone have a question that you would like to ask any of the panelists? Please state your name.
Hi, my name is Jewels, and I'm from Dudley's Beauty College. One of the questions I had in regards to you, I'm not sure what your name is.
Tara Gates Anderson.
Okay, Ms. Anderson, my question to you is if you could give me one quote that I could take away to keep with me every time I deal with a customer, what would that be?
A quote to live by that you said quote, right?
Quote, ism, something.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you a quote I live by that was given to me it's by Benjamin Disraeli, and is the greatest good that you can do for another is not to just share your riches, but to reveal to him his own. And I think a lot of times we have to remember that we have to give to others more so than just take from others. And so that's the quote I live by. The greatest good is I can reveal, I can awaken something in someone else that, has been awakened in me. So that's just,
That speaks volumes, thank you.
you're welcome.
Another question coming from Ms. Nikki.
Hello, my name is Nicole Ruffin. I have a company, Care Essence Therapeutic Massage. It'll be 10 years old in February. And my question is to anyone on the panel, if all of you want to answer, when you are experiencing trials, I'll say, when business is not going as good as you would like, what are the things that you focus on? Because you may seem like there's a lot of different things that aren't going well. How do you decide what's that thing that you should focus on for the success?
Okay, and I have something for you too.
I'm gonna put on my teacher voice. So one of the, and you have your peaks and your valleys, and you have to recognize that you will have peaks and valleys. Saida Armstrong, business entrepreneur on the preschool, and I am an educational consultant, and I'm an author of a children's book. So basically, one of the things that I focus on is going back to my vision board, because sometimes you have to reassess where you are, and you have to tweak your goals, rewrite them. Sometimes you have to throw them out and totally reinvent what you are trying to do. But you have to put that little time for yourself on the schedule where you say, when am I going to have time for me, where I'm going to work on my business, okay? But at the same time, you can't beat yourself up. And you have to celebrate the successes, because everything is not a loss. So if you had one client that week, one is better than zero.
Yes.
As the great Mr. Dudley just said, who is a chemist, by the way. There are so many chemists out there, and you don't have to have that degree to be a chemist, so let's recognize what he is. One of the things that you have to realize is, why are things slow? What's going on now, and how can you market yourself? How do you put yourself out there? When I opened up my preschool, it was knocking door to door, putting out flyers in mailboxes. It was old school. So you need to think about, how can you get yourself out there?
Thank
One thing I had, and I shared this in my course, and it just always sticks with me, is, what is your brand? Who knows about your brand and what your brand truly is? And it's your reputation and visibility in your target marketplace. People get caught up and think branding is all about, my logo is cute, my marketing material is this, and it's all the wrong stuff. Your brand is your reputation and visibility in your target market. So you have to really figure out, what is my reputation? What are my customers saying about me? Have you thought about sending a survey to all your customers? Send that survey, find out what it is, the key questions that you want to know. How often? Why did you only come once? Ask those hard questions you may not necessarily want to hear, but you got to get real with yourself, and your customers will do that. Offer them something in return for that, because those are the ones that have come to you. They're the people that are talking about you after they leave you. So you got to figure out, what's my reputation out there in the world? Okay, how visible am I out there in the world? And then, as she just said, you have to think of different avenues to do that. And being here today, I tell people all the time, making those high-level connections and positioning yourself, some of it takes sacrifice, but when you do that, people are out there, and when you're making those connections, not only are you forming lifetime partnerships, but you are creating that level of visibility that your business needs to grow. So doing those lulls, so to speak, then that's when I start looking at industry events. I start looking at things that I can go to, and people I can connect with that, going to position me, and I know there I'm going to meet new people.
Right.
You're doing giveaways, you're doing those right things, but you got to tap into those faithful, loyal customers and find out what it is that makes them come back to you. And then you need to figure out, how can I package that and communicate that message to new target markets.
Thank you so much.
One of the things, if you have my book or going to get it, I'd love for you to read on page 173. These are some quickies that help you stay motivated. 173, 177, and 168, 164, and then you'll find some information that will really help you to motivate you and like starts a good morning meditation. See, what you got to do is really look at yourself and really think about all the good about you. Throw away what you think bad about you. Throw away and think good on a continuous basis. You'll be surprised how successful you become.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Repeat those pages, sir.
Okay, page 173. That's a morning meditation on page 177, and do 101. I didn't mention that before. 68 and 38, and the very first page in the book, one of the first full pages upon that. It's all there. It's really worth you reading. I got people that continue to read it. Read it for 30 days. You will change your whole thinking, because all of it is thinking.
We have another question.
I'd like for Mr. Dudley to ask this, as well as these 2 or 3 other persons on the panel. And thank you so much for that motivational moment. It was powerful, sir. My name is Giovanni Wade. I have a business called Budget for Business, and I teach people how to budget and prepare for business. One of the questions I have is this: Robert Kiyosaki said it's difficult to teach an employee how to become an entrepreneur or business owner. I'd like to hear from Mr. Dudley and then some of the members of the panel. How do you speak to individuals who've been working and struggling, and they know they're in a financial jam, but how do you teach them or assist them in becoming from an employee mindset to that of an entrepreneur? Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you for asking. That's kind of easy. What I did, I had some people working on a small business of mine. The first thing I said to them, you have to save money. If you cannot save money, see the success is not in you. You cannot put up money. Putting up money is not saving money. You save money, which you keep saving. And what I had them to do, every day they had to save some money. It was no more than a penny. But they had to form a habit of saving. That's how you get people to move to another level. They have to save money. You have to save money. It may be a small amount, but you don't ever borrow that money. That's money for total investment in you, and that's how you grow yourself.
Hi, I'm Roxanne Kerr, founder and CEO of thebeautylawyer.com. I think the first thing that we should recognize is that not everyone is made to be an entrepreneur. And so if I were giving a class on entrepreneurship, the first thing I would do is do a self-assessment, because it's okay if you are an employee. Everybody can't be the leader. It's okay to be a follower. It is. And so at the end of the day, someone has to do what the employees do. And so the self-assessment, and if you have not done one and you're about to start a business, you should. If you've already started a business and you find it stalling because maybe you're not doing the financial piece, or you're not doing the marketing piece, or there's something that's missing, it could be that you are not to be an entrepreneur, and that's okay too. Because at the end of the day, when you start a business, you have to be everything for your business. You have to be the worker bee, the brain behind the business. You have to be the lawyer, the accountant. Everything when you first start has to be your job until you can grow to the place where you can either afford or get assistance from those people. So you have to be everything to your business. Not everyone is an analytical person, especially when you are an artist. And that's what most makeup artists, cosmetologists, those people are artists. And so they tend to be more creative thinkers more than analytical. You have to be all of that when you become an entrepreneur, a business owner. And so self-assessment is key. Do you have those things in you to sit to do a business plan? Or are you one that you're scattered all over the place? Are you really the one who's gonna do, you have to have a finder, people who go out and find business. You have to be the grinder, the people who do the business, right? And so also you have to be the one who's over there making sure, pulling all the strings. And so I would say if you're trying to get employees to move from one level to the next, then we need to make sure that they are meant to take that road.
I'll hand it over to Mr. Finney. I would like to add, your truth can be painful sometimes. Actually, in my session, handed out a My Reality self-assessment, because you have to answer tough questions. No one knows what's in your bank account except for you. So you can lie and show the facade. My husband just pointed to himself, he does know what's in mine as well. But you can live that facade, wearing the best clothes, the nicest purse, but on the inside of that bank account, it tells a different story. So you always have to, Ms. Kerr is right, you have to document for yourself the reality, your reality, and take copious notes. Take copious notes. If you have to hire a CPA, if you have to hire a lawyer, if you have to hire a marketeer, you have all those individuals right here on stage. Utilize your resources, ask questions, and document.
My name is Femi Akili. I'm a Nigerian, and my purpose of being here is how do you increase your take in the global economy that we're 30% off and only 1% off. I would like to first mention that the book Mr. Dudley was mentioning, or the program of Pay Yourself First, came from a book called The Richest Man in Babylon. So if you'd like to look at that book, then you can take a look at it. Secondly, on my end, business or entrepreneurs are not born, they're trained. Among us, the reason I sit here, one, I talk about what, I think it's 34 of the Asian own a business. When you go to the Europeans, you go to Latino, you go to everybody. We are the last at the bottom end of it. There's no way to increase our economics unless we add more entrepreneurship and train them, groom them, give them incubating system so that they can now grow on their own. We need to do more of those things.
So this is the last response, and then
Yeah,
we'll
wrap it up. Okay, I just wanted to add, because you really made me think of something, and my name's Tara Gates Anderson. I own a company called TGA Unified, where I do business relations, international PR. And I think all things are possible with a plan. I think the biggest mistake, and I find this a lot, I have a lot of people in MLMs that come to me and ask me, okay, how do I do this? How do I get people to do that? I said, well, you're treating them like employees. When you show what Mr. Dudley was dead on, yes, save, but when you show those people how to make the money, and it's a plan behind it, they're going to work, whether they wanna make $500 a month, or they wanna make $500,000 a month. If they have a plan, and you show them how to take their money and make it grow, they're going to stay in there. Yes, there's some people that may slack off, but when they see the money, and they consistently see it, not just from the work that they're doing for you, whether you're in a MLM business or you're in any other kind of business, not just that monthly paycheck, but I took my monthly paycheck, I invested it over here, and I made money. You get what I'm saying? When you show people how to make that money that they're making grow, I hope I made myself clear with that. When you're showing them how the money that they're making, how to make it grow so you can save, as Mr. Dudley said, then they will have a formula to stay in business. Then they will know, okay, this is real. Because a lot of times people get in business, they make that money real quick and it's all great, the money stops. And then we accuse them of not being an entrepreneur. The money stops, people are going to work for it. They just want to see it grow.
Cousins,
Yes.
one thing I'd like to leave with you too, read the book, Think and Grow Rich. How many of you read that book? Read it, study it. I read it 300 times. Somebody says, well, why do you read it 300 times? You read it until you get rich. It said, think and grow rich.
That's right.
Then you can stop. The other thing is, if you have any kind of aches or pain, I put together, I invested $5 million in a product that we have. You probably got samples in your bag at some place. Thank you.
What's the name of it?
Dudley Pain and Aches.
It's in your gift bags when you checked in. They're in your bag. So I just want to take a moment and say and acknowledge all of our speakers for volunteering your time. I want to take a moment and thank you all for volunteering your time to share the wealth of information that I feel everyone has walked away with and will walk away with, and hopefully they'll be able to implement the lessons that you all have taught. So I just have a small token of appreciation. It's not the same gift bag that they got, which y'all brought up.
Very good.
I want to thank Angel and Miss Cynthia. I think we need to give them a hand for this first
Thank you.
Awesome job. Awesome.
And thank you, Cynthia, for inviting me to be a part of this.
Well, let me just give you your accolades because she did most of the work, okay?
But Cynthia, you talk too long.
This is.
Get ready to go eat.
Okay, no, what I want to let you go, because what I want you to do is spend time with Dr. Dudley and the vendors for the last 15 minutes. But I will say that I've mastered the art as a former employer to learn how to let other folks use their skills and do all the work.
Exactly, just like she
No,
did.
but really, it would not have been possible, this event. We did really do it in 4 weeks. It really came from a conversation with Mr. Dudley. I was so moved, and I thought it was important to bring his message to you. So I am so grateful for his presence. I know, and let me just say this. I mean, all of you speakers, by the way, I know what it would cost to have you on, because I'm one of those persons that paid those fees when I was grooming myself, preparing myself, and educating myself as an entrepreneur. I mean, it's expensive. And all of them were kind enough to devote their time and their energy and impart their knowledge to you, so I'm so grateful. And Dr. Dudley, I know you're on a fast track and you have a very busy schedule, so we're so grateful to have you all here. Thank you so much. And Angel, I could not do it without you. She's like a bunny rabbit. I tell you the truth, but I appreciate it because I'm not moving quite that fast. So anyway, I'd like for you all to spend the last 20, 15 minutes where we have with the vendors, get Dr. Dudley's book. Go to page 177, 78, 69. And also don't forget Nicole and all the rest of the wonderful cards out there. Take a look at the cards Nicole was giving. Maybe she can touch it for 5 minutes so you can get a feel of what she's doing. Where are you, Nicole? She's in the corner, but she's good. So thank you guys for coming, and we're on track to do this again next year?
Yes. And thank you to all of our vendors.
Exactly, all of our vendors.
All right, let's network, connect.
Thank you guys.